He's been
Oh,
snoring all day long. My
oh.
orange cat snores. Look, there he is. Oh, stretched, yo. Yo, people, we have a new guest today. His name is Ember. And if you could see these butterflies, it'd be going nuts. Hey, guys.
Yeah.
It's the
Hi,
crazy
welcome
people.
to the box den, and we have a fun guest tonight. You're gonna love him,
Oh,
and
yes,
we
you
just
will.
finding out. I just met him yesterday, correct?
Yep.
And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I've known him forever. So you guys are gonna love him. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play his video like I always do, and get him right on here right away. Because seriously, you guys are gonna love him. This week in the Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D, we welcome Jon Furtado. Evidential medium and shamanic descendant, Jon Furtado is a renowned evidential medium and shamanic descendant, known for his powerful ability to bridge the gap between the physical and the spiritual worlds. With years of dedicated practice, he has earned a reputation for delivering compassionate, accurate, and deeply meaningful messages from those who have crossed over. From an early age, Jon displayed an extraordinary sensitivity to the unseen realms, often experiencing spiritual encounters that shaped his path towards mediumship and healing work. His ancestral lineage in shamanic traditions further deepened his connection to spirit, granting him a unique ability to not only relay messages from beyond, but also guide souls through profound healing and transformation. A gifted spiritual messenger, Jon's work as an evidential medium focuses on providing clear, undeniable validations from loved ones in spirit. Through his ability to receive names, personal details, and specific memories, he ensures that every message carries the weight of truth and love. His sessions bring comfort, closure, and a renewed sense of connection to those seeking guidance from the other side. We welcome you, Jon, and everyone to the Fox Den. Hi,
I have
Jon.
to say, Gina, you know I love your videos. I could just talk about them all day long and how good you are. But now that you've met Jon, don't you think you should have used some more bouncier music? Because that's just his.
Yep.
But this is
Yep.
good. But it's like,
Yep.
this is the first time I've ever thought the music, generally the music fits the person. But this one is like, John's like, beep, beep, beep. He's like that squirrel that runs across your. The
I
squirrel
know,
thing.
he's very fun. He's very up all the
Daphne the squirrel.
stuff. Hi, Sharon. Let's see, put this up here. Why isn't it not showing? How come I can't get the thing to show, Mama?
Everybody.
There it is. Hi.
Hi, Sharon.
Please share the show because it's gonna be fun. So Jon, tell us like a little bit more. Oh, there's my baby. There's Bob. I'll let Mama do that. Maybe.
There's my
Right thing.
legs.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is. All right. I don't know. Maybe it's my mouse. I don't know. Things are acting up. But
Just leave it alone. It's my job, woman.
well, you like, how did you even know that you were a medium? Hi, Carmen. Okay, prayers are going out to you. You know that. And hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol. How did I know?
Yeah.
Very young age. I used to come to New Bedford, Massachusetts. I grew up in Montreal. I was born in Europe, and I had an aunt named Maria, and she lived in New Bedford, Mass, and she was a spiritualist. I must have been 7 years old, and I'd cross the border and go to this woman's house, who's my great aunt, and she had all these statues, a glow-in-the-dark Virgin Mary that freaked me out. And she'd speak to her dead husband, and I was like, Mom, and I'd say to my mother, Mom, what's going on? And she's like, oh, no, she's special. She's good. She's good. She's a good seed. And I'm like, so no one gave me a book to say, Jon, you're a medium.
Right.
I went through a lot of fear. I'd feel things, wasn't sure what it was, until I really had a vision and I saw spirit, like I'm seeing both of you tonight. And that was after a near-death experience, really a lot of tragedy in my 30s. I have to say that spirit was always with me. I always felt presence, but I wasn't quite sure. And in Canada, US, I mean, where do you go, right? If you don't know, you go to books. And I kept meeting mediums my whole life, always. And I was so afraid of tarot cards because I was raised Catholic, sort of. And I said, oh my God, I can't go to these things because it's the devil. So, and I was completely freaked out. And no one ever told me my grandfather was a shaman in Portugal. No one ever told me my grandfather was would remove entities from people, do all these things back in Europe. So I really had a clear idea when I was quite young. I have to say that in my 30s is when, after my father died, I really crashed and went through a really horrible time in my life. And that's when it happened. That's when I saw a little boy in my room. And I was meditating for 6 months in this retreat center. I was just away from everything. I needed to restart my life, needed to learn to love myself more. And that little boy appeared to me. The lips weren't moving, and I was out of my body. I knew I wasn't dead. Wasn't afraid. And I was like, who is this little boy? And he said, you know, and I remember till today, this is like 18, 17 years ago. And he said to me, my mother, tell her it's not, her name is Margaret, and she's responsible for the center. I hardly knew the woman, right? So he said to her, when I fell off the second story window, it's not her fault. But the lips weren't moving. So it was like, tell
Yeah, right.
And I remember feeling, and I didn't believe in God. I had gone down a really bad road. And I remember feeling there's presence. And when I said the next morning in breakfast, I told her, and she started crying. And I was like, oh, this was the beginning of the, you know. And then I kept meeting mediums and more. So Spirit kept pushing me to these places. Today, I've gone across the world, you know, to the UK, to Arthur Findlay College, to prove to myself that I was. Because I wasn't, how do you know when you're a real medium, right? How do you give evidence? Because tarot cards, you can buy them anywhere in all this business. And, you know, and it's a way of life. So in Europe, at Arthur Findlay, this college, they put me on stage and asked me to just go, you know, and being Canadian and being North American, I'm like, well, I work differently. You know, my mediumship is different. What is evidence? And I give evidence, but I wasn't quite sure. So I had that formal training there, which really helped me. But prior to that, I was already serving at the International Temple of Spiritual Revelations in Montreal, which is a spiritualist church that was founded by 2 Black women from America 60 years ago.
Yeah, how weird is that? Right? Well, let's go back to that.
I was born and raised in Montreal, and I never knew about this.
Yeah.
I had to grow up to even get on this path. But I'll be meeting those ladies this summer.
There's a lot of shame with spirituality. People are afraid to go and be controlled. But you see, Spirit doesn't control people. There's no dogma.
Right. I know. There's just, you know, it's ignorance, and not in the ignorant in a bad way. It's ignorance in a way that you just don't know.
It's fear. It's fear-based.
That's true. But that's changing from when we were kids. You know, I mean, it was all poo-pooed upon. You know, like my mom didn't want anybody to know that I saw my grandfather. You know, and he's saying they grabbing my feet and they grabbing my feet, and he was telling everybody that, you know, when he was hospice, that gremlins were grabbing his feet. Us kids weren't there. They didn't, you know. He told me this at the foot of my bed when I was a child. I saw him standing there, just like you were sitting there. But the mouth did move. The words came out. He's a little Italian. He stuttered. You know, said, they're grabbing my feet. They're grabbing my feet. He did this with his hand. And I'm like, Mom, you know, he was in my room. You know, and she's like, he was not. He died last night. Blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, no, he was here and he was in my room. You know, because I was really little. But then again, when my grandmother died, now that I was a little bit older, and, you know, she appeared same way, same place, same bed. And I could see her lips moving, and I heard nothing. So I have no idea what she was trying to say. But my cousin Luann saw her too. She heard her. So that was.
So the Spirit wanted to be validated by many people.
Yeah. So that was kind of neat. But, you know, it's a thing. It's like, you know, but then again, you know, at that age, now my dad was atheist, you know, and he's like, he wants no part of anything, you know. And my mom was just like, nope, we don't talk about these things, we don't talk about that things, you know, we don't, nope. You know. So what are you to do?
My mother told me her father was a medium a year before she died, so 2020.
Wow.
She never, and she said to me, I said, why didn't you ever say anything? Because she knew I was going to work as a medium full time, you know.
Right.
And she said, I didn't want you to suffer because it's such a hard way of life. That's the old perception of old Europe.
I know, right?
He was very gifted, and there's a lot of, because they're Catholic, well, because of religion, there was a lot of fear associated with connecting with spirit. This is why I work in spiritualist churches, and I've been across America. Unity Church in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, asked me to go down. Reverend Chris Nygren saw me work in Montreal, and she's like, "You're phenomenal. You give such clarity." I'm also a therapist in Quebec, in Canada. I'm a relationship therapist, thérapeute en relation d'aide. That helped me to understand emotions, because I believe that I have a huge responsibility as a medium to relay messages that are helping the person's soul journey. It's not about me. I have to get out of the way and let come in completely.
Yep. Now, her whole family, the women did coffee readings, like tea readings. Oh, that's neat.
I do that. Tea readings are great. Tea readings are great.
Yeah. Hi, Colette. Hope everything's going okay. I still keep praying for you all the time. What was I going to say now? What were we talking about right before this?
So it's tea reading right now. Someone was mentioning.
Yeah, before that. Jeez, I was going to say
Spiritual Church in North Carolina, Unity Church, telling you about the U.S. It's okay.
I don't know. Maybe it'll come back. I do that a lot. Like my shiny ball moments, it'll come and go. If I don't say it right away, it's gone. That's showing my age a little bit. Just a little bit. But, I'm always worried about you, Claude. I am. Definitely in my prayers a lot. Yeah, what was it? Oh, I know what it was. Because it was important. But you were saying you're a therapist. Now, that's what I say about being a paranormal investigator. It's like if people have an issue going on in their home, I feel like I'm the therapist. They're calling in the therapist because I'm going to come in, I'm going to talk to you, the client, find out what's going on. Why is this spirit bothering you? Why do you think the spirit's bothering you? What is it doing? Blah, 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 blah. Then I'm going to kick you out. Then I'm going to talk to the spirit. Right? But like in this form, not your way, through EVPs, through equipment, through investigating. Maybe I'll see him, maybe I'll hear him. I don't know. But that I can trust. That I can have evidence on a recorder to say, okay, look at the spirit saying this. Right. Now you got to do the counselor thing.
Yeah.
Can you live with this? Can you live with this? You try to get them to live together in harmony. And if they can't, one or the other has to go.
Yeah. I give evidence. It's always phenomenal.
Yeah. Right. It's crazy, right? I mean, they're always talking. They were always talking.
Well, and it's always particular information do I get from, like, when I remember one particular situation. They coexist. Yes. I had one particular situation where there's a little group of 20 people at Unity Center of Peace in Montreal, which is actually the church the temple rents out of. And my arm just went out, and I felt a needle go in. And I was like, And the woman in front of me said, "I'd like to speak to my son Michael," and I have her authorization to speak about this because or else I wouldn't. And I said he had chemotherapy, And then I'm like, and I felt the needle go in, and it was like this, oof. And I felt him come close to me. You see, in England, I took this class, and it was interesting. When we connect and we do trans mediumship, trans is when the spirit comes into me, and my face changes to the spirit's face. I'm not scared, but I was sitting there meditating and going, but never thought that during a message circle, that the spirit would actually show me. So every reading they show me signs, my signs of what that means. So when I get that, it doesn't hurt physically. At the moment, it does. Like
you feel. Stay back off. Don't.
The miracle about this client was, it was amazing because after giving her the reading and such details about her son being dual spirited, I did not tell her mother that. I was like, he's eccentric, he's this, and she's like, yes, he was. Oh, okay, and then it was this on and on and on. And then she said, "John, you don't remember me." And she was crying because her son died. And she was so close to him. And I described his bedroom, how the brown furniture, how the father had bought all this equipment for sports. He wanted the son to be straight, but he was bullied. And just particularities of things how would I know he had high heels? Weird things like this. I had no idea. And the mother started going, "Yes, that's Michael." And then she,
right. Yeah.
And at the end, she said to me, "John, you don't remember me. I helped you in high school." I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "When you were bullied." She goes, "You cried on my shoulder. Now you're helping me." And I swear that came in for me.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay.
We have a question in the chat group. Why do spirits show us images and it's like clips? How do we piece the puzzle together? And that's from Carmen.
And when you get images, you have to be relaxed enough and centered to understand where to glue the image, like you glue it on a collage. Because if you're worried about where's the image, where'd it come from, I can't go thinking. Thinking has to get out of the room. I just allow the image to come through, and the first feeling that comes without thinking, that's what it is.
Yep.
How spirit trained me.
Yep. That's
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Never overthink. However, sometimes too, you might get something today. You might get something tomorrow. You might get something the next day or the next week, and then all of a sudden, poof! It all makes sense.
Yeah.
So don't count out anything. A lot of people, when people lose their loved ones and they say, we talk about, oh, we see signs, we have this, we have that. I get plenty of signs from the animals, from the people, all that stuff. But I'm watching for them. I'm aware of them. So yeah. And a lot of people say, well, I don't get any signs. I don't see anything. I'm like, are you looking? Well, it's like, well,
And most people are looking for the big signs.
Yeah.
They don't think about the little things, and they just sort of like, a repeat song that keeps coming over, feathers that you keep finding. Feathers people are more used to now, but songs or seeing people or something, it's just a tiny little thing, and they just sort of fluff it off because it's no, that's not what I'm looking for. It's like my mother and I said we would have a password when she passed over. She's going to come in and, say something specific. Well, you may never hear that, but you might smell your mother's perfume, or you might, feel like my mother always used to, when I was a child and she wanted me to shut up and go to sleep, she would rub my forehead, just stroke my forehead. So I know that if I feel something here, that I know it's her. It's my father. I can smell his cologne. Nobody in my house wears Old Spice cologne, but I can smell it. The original, not this fancy schmancy shit they have now. But I can smell it, so I know he's there. And I have a conversation with him. So, little chit chat, and there we go. But a lot of people are looking for that big thing,
Well, I also became a grief therapist because grief is huge. Grief keeps us from feeling everything, including the spirit of a loved one. Because as I let go of objects that were my mom's, I feel her more. I'm setting her free. There's this automatic that happens. This is something that I see all the time with people,
Yep. These are my mom's earrings. Yeah. I have a vignette for my dad over there, like his boots, his hat, his bolo, his, all that kind of stuff.
Keep things. I believe we're physical beings. We need to feel something that belongs to.
Yeah. In my car, I have something of everybody. In my animals, I have a collar, I have tags, I have my dad's bolo, and my mom's little angel that she always made. We always had to have the pewter angel in our cars, the guardian angel. They have the so I have something, of everyone in my car at all times, so I got you.
Here's Carmen again. I started getting images during the investigation, but it's like clips. Also, it's like odd. I can't see spirit, but they make me feel them, how they are. Yeah.
Okay.
Some people start by seeing, but they don't always see. And spirit decides when they show themselves to me. I can't pop them out of a hat like a rabbit.
Yeah.
Nope.
I can't tell them that.
No. Carmen, you've gone on investigations. You know that kind of stuff. You can't, hi, Kim. You can't make a spirit, talk to you, communicate, show. And usually, from years and years, 30 freaking years plus, not aging myself out here, but I've been investigating for a very long time. And usually if I get something on film and I see something, I'm hearing nothing. Or I'm getting a million EVPs and I see nothing. It takes a lot of energy for spirits to do what they do. Now, the mediums, on the other hand, you've got like an you've got a different little, a little connection that we don't share per se.
Even an airplane.
Yeah,
I was on a flight to Paris, and I could never afford business class after my mom passed, and I said, I'm going to go to Paris. I'm going to go to Europe for 3 months. And the flight attendant was like, oh, you've got great energy. I'm like, here we go. And it was like 2 a.m. And she came up to me and she's like, and it was really interesting. It was really weird because Spirit's like, you got to tell her. And I'm like, tell her what? But I don't have a conversation out loud or else we're going to go to jail. But head, right? And she's a beautiful woman. And she said to me, you got energy. And I said, look, I'm a medium and I have this message for you. And I had no idea what was coming out next. And I said to her, you have a boyfriend. You have 2 daughters, 2 beautiful daughters. She's like, yes. You have a boyfriend. You know, he's not really with you all the time. He's with someone else. And she goes, wow, you've just confirmed what I knew. And she started to cry. I said, by the way, your French is incredible French. You speak Parisian French, but you're actually from Italia. And you're from Nice. She goes, how do you know that? I said, well, this is spirit. So sometimes, yes, it's loved ones I connect with. Other times it's that person needs to know that they're done and they have that confirmation come in. And that was an amazing, and it was really weird with Corsair because as I came back to Canada, another flight attendant is like, oh, can I get a, I'm like, how do they, then the word goes around, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just strange that way that it happens in midair when I have no idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is cool.
Yep. It is.
Yeah. That's Kimmy. That's another paranormal investigator. And she helps us with our Penhurst Paracon. It's coming up, Penhurst Paracon coming up May. It's real soon. If you haven't gotten tickets yet, you better hurry up. It's going to be great. I can't believe we have Josh Gates. I just can't. That was my little plug moment.
Woohoo.
Hi,
Hey, Jojo.
Jojo, miss you. Yeah.
A lot of people find that. How do you, John? How do you know when you meet someone that they are? Because I've always been curious about this. Like, how do you know that when you meet someone and they say, "I'm a medium, I'm a psychic, I'm a whatever"? How do you get that feeling? What is it that gives you that? Yeah, that's true, or not so much.
I see the authentic that when they say they're a medium. Well, people get intuitions that come from above, not from the gut. The gut is something else. But I've had people say they're mediums, and all of a sudden, what they're doing is they're relaying psychic information. They're reading around the aura of the person. They're not actually connecting to a spirit world at all. They're people that pretend, and then what I do is I let them be. But these churches that I serve at all across North America, Canada, US, they make sure you give evidence. They make sure that you won't validations. And I think validations are so important. And unfortunately, there's people out there that don't have the gift. You can learn.
Okay. My biggest pet peeve in this whole community is fake psychics. Okay, fake psychics. How do I really feel about that? I cannot stand a fake psychic. I really can't, because people.
It's dangerous, Gina. It's dangerous because I've had people tell me things when I was younger, and I used to work at a store in St. Hubert Plaza, which is this little, really dinky little plaza. And this reader told just everything she said came out true, but I never asked her for a meeting. I always asked for permission. Can I come to you?
Right.
I ask for permission. This is the basic thing as a medium. It's ethical. It's about the luck a medium has as a seer. My job and my calling is to give inspiration to that person in front of me so they can mourn their loved one, connect with that person, but also connect with their guides and know that they're okay, not to make their life hell. In Sedona, it's funny you say that. This one woman, I walked into a store and she says, "You're a medium." I said, "Yes." She goes, "Can I ask you something?" She goes, "My daughter died and a Baptist minister said she was in hell and a medium." And I said, "No, that's wrong." And then I said, "Was your daughter had long hair?" And I started getting into details about her daughter. This is in a store in Sedona. And I said, "Your daughter," she actually wrote a write-up for me in Google review. And she had tears. This is a 7-year-old woman that's been carrying 30 years of horrible guilt because somebody who's not well gave her a message about their own inclination of spirituality and religion. So that's where I get really upset, because there's a responsibility, because karmically, if you give ill information to someone, you're actually accumulating a lot of really bad karma. Spirit world doesn't like it. And a lot of them get sick.
This could be a whole show. Okay. And I'm gonna try to bite my tongue on that whole subject, because I've seen people get hurt by fake psychics. I've seen, them just trying to do this to make money, and all they do is fish. And, I can't. That's all I'm going to say about it. I just can't. I can't stand them. And, you know, hopefully someday
When you
I
see
would
enough
love to
times,
do a
when
show
you
that I
see
would
the,
call out every fake psychic that I know by name.
yeah, when
And
you
by
see
situation.
the, on our last show, she's going to do that. Okay. So we're never going anywhere because hell's got to freeze over first. When you see the pain that it causes, that, and this is what Gina says, when you see the pain that people are causing with their fake psychics things,
And
I'm
the
just
money.
like, and the money, oh my.
I know.
There was a man on the news up here in Canada. I forget what it was. There was a woman who was told that she's got an attachment or something, and I was like, she spent like, I think it was $50,000 on a psychic. I was like, dude, don't fucking do that shit. I'm swearing, but it's okay.
Is that mine? Is
Yes,
that
yours.
for me?
You can have it. Because every time she
swear jar.
swears, she puts money
This
in
is
my
a
swear
very,
jar.
very, very, very rare occasion.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
it's like,
I remember being in a class for my grief therapy counseling training, and my teacher, as a therapist, said to me, "This a client of mine was in therapy for 10 years because someone said her daughter was in hell, and that person went for therapy for 10 years that had traumatized. It brings on trauma. You see, this is why
yeah,
there's places like the NCAS, the National Canadian Association of Spiritual Churches. There's Lilydale, New York. There's places that actually, but anybody can have a business card and print it and say I'm a medium. It's up to the public to see. What's my intuition? Does that person sound real? Are they giving sound advice? How? Not only how are their reviews, go see them live somewhere. Are they working in a public place? Are they known? You see,
yeah.
this is something intuitively, and people are doing it from the heart, from passion. We know this.
Yep.
And I
Yeah.
see mediums all the time that are screaming and talking. And there's no reason. Mediumship is love. First and
Yeah.
foremost, spirit is love. So there's no way spirit's going to make someone feel bad.
Right? I know. And then if they do, they're a bad spirit. All right. And there are negative spirits. There really are. They're not all love and light. They're
Oh
not.
God, no.
Oh God.
You know, but
I
they
remember that mediums are still human. The people who passed over are still human, or at
Right.
least were.
This is a
still
big
human.
question. I do
So we
want
go
you to
through
answer this
shit.
for Lisa.
But yeah, I like this one. Lisa Michael, how do you know the difference between messages from your spirit guide? Whoop, where did that go? Spirit guides versus spirit.
Well, I know my guides. When it comes from my guides, it's for my higher good. When it comes from spirit, it comes from a higher level of my chakras. So I'm feeling this very light feeling when spirit comes in. I actually feel presence of spirit and I get moved. So if anybody sees me working in the churches, and I work in these spiritualist churches, whether it's Unity, anywhere, even in Ottawa or US, I actually feel them so close to me that you cannot touch a medium. You can't touch me because I'll get electrocuted. Like I feel it's just so sensitive that if someone was to touch me, it's like I can go into shock. And you don't touch a medium when they're connected. Now, how do I know it's my spirit guides? Well, my guides will tell me certain things as far as my behavior to train me, to make me better in many ways. But when it's spirit talking to me, it's so light. It's like this cloud above me. So I know it comes from the left, and it's like a souffle where it's my guides. They speak to me loud, but spirit is very calm.
Okay.
And it comes through like,
I think it's different for every medium too, but that's really good because I know how it was for Chris, and it's pretty similar. This is my cousin that my grandmother appeared to. She said, I'm going to see a medium next Friday at the VFW. Every day for the past 2 months, I've been asking Mom to come through. I even hung up on a post. Her mom is my godmom. I even hung up a post. Post-it. Oh, on my vanity mirror that says, Mom. I wanted to remind myself each day to talk to her. That mirror crashed off my wall 2 weeks ago. Hey, hello.
That's a big sign.
That's a confirmation, like when clients of mine want to speak to their parents or loved one who's passed away, I always say, ask your loved one to come through. They may be busy up there. I don't command them to come down like that. It happens a lot of times they come, but often enough, if the client, we call it a sitter, wants to speak to their mom who's deceased, they have to say, Mom, I want to speak. I'm seeing John on Wednesday. So Mom will come to me.
Yeah.
And away with evidential mediumship, if the person gives me their name, Mom's name, I'll ask Mom to come through. And a lot of times they come once in a while. I'll give you an example. I had this young girl, and she's like, my sister, can I connect with my sister? And her sister came through, but I couldn't hear the voice, like muffled. But her sister was paraplegic and didn't have a voice, was, you know what I mean? Was autistic, so she
Right.
didn't have, and I said, how long ago did she pass? She had a month. Sometimes they're not ready to come. I've seen people the
Mhm.
next 3 days later come through. Boom.
Yeah, or some people just cross over and they're gone. They're off to the
And they're
next. They're off to the next realm. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I can see that. You know, mom's name is Marie. If you get anything from Marie, that's Luann's mom, and that's me, Gina Marie, right? That's my
okay.
godmommy, and so it's a, you know, I don't know if you can feel a connection between me or through
What's
Luann.
Marie? Give me a sec.
That's Luann right there.
That's one. Okay. Yeah, as I'm looking at her picture, I just feel like I'm bolted back. This is a very powerful person. Her name is Marie, right? Your aunt?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. I have a feeling like full of fire. Okay, this is not very tall, and this is like I'm very fiery, and I'm talking fast, and I just want. I move around life like, "Hi, how are you? Okay, what's going on?" And this is the kind of information that I'm getting from her spirit, is that she's very fiery. She never took crap from anybody. This is someone who really get out of my way. I'm going here, I'm going there, and very fiery, but at the same time had a very soft spot. Okay, how soft spot to help a lot of people, but almost forgot herself a lot in the family, and she ended up neglecting herself a lot at the end of her life, which caused her a lot of physical pain.
Oh, okay. You know, that makes sense to me. Luann, would there be a question? Yeah, right. I know. I know. Would there be a question that you might want to ask Mom? I have chills. Like
The firecracker. I'm getting like Judge Judy, that kind of energy. Do you know what I mean?
we
Like,
could go with them to see the fireworks too. Do you remember that, Luann? Oh my God. Oh,
the hair is very tight.
oh my God. It's like this.
Not you, her.
Hers. I know. It's like,
Yeah, very tight.
yeah. I wish I had a picture here.
People don't tell me anything, because what happens is I want spirit to tell me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't be in shock. Your mom loves you very much, you know, and I'm feeling like the left side of my body, something happened there, and I don't want to talk about that. There's something with the heart. There's something that I can't. I'm trying to breathe and I'm trying to catch my breath, and it's so hard. But I want to talk about how I crossed over. I want to talk about my life. I want to talk about what I've built. I want to talk about the home. I want to talk about all that stuff that I put outside of the house that made sense to me, but to nobody else.
Mm.
Aww.
Wow.
This
Very fiery.
Yeah,
Very
because she's affecting a lot.
yeah. Everybody in that family was very fiery.
No, but the mom, my God, fiery and no nonsense.
Yeah.
Love her character. No, because they crossed over, but the character stays the same.
Mm.
Yeah, she was a lot to a lot of people, and in the church.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember going to their house when we were kids, and we always had to go to church. If I was there over the weekend, we'd have to go to church on Sunday.
Yeah, a lot of people gather around her. I'm just feeling.
Okay, so Joan in the chat room also has, is your spirit guide the same as your guardian angel?
No, they're different.
Like,
We're all born with an angel. We're born with a physical, a spiritual, and a mental angel. 3. In the Kabbalah, in the Jewish Kabbalah, no nonsense. Yes, no. Your mom is still with me right now. I can still feel like I'm talking fast, and I'm like, okay, see now. I feel like her energy in my room. I'm like, okay, she sounds like my mom. Like this whole room is being filled up with, okay, Jesu Bambin. Like,
I love it.
yeah. This is how spirit works. Even though, because your daughter, you want to speak to your mom, your intention. This is what builds spirit. Is built with intention. So your intention to hear from mom, and they're like, "Hello, there's a medium in the house. Can I come to him and tell?" And then boom, boom, boom. And if you were in front of me, and if you give me an object, I would do psychometry. If I just close my eyes and concentrate more, the information is still going to come through. And it could be in a bus, in a metro. It could be anywhere.
Right. Now, I have a question to go along with this whole thing. My mom, Marie, was her sister, and my mom passed last year. Are they together? Do they hang out together? My mom my mom got shorter. She shrunk.
No,
She had the
but
Italian thing.
earlier on, mom was a little taller.
Yep.
And mom stood like this, your mom.
Oh yeah.
Like James, she was like James D. She just stood there, and she's like, hi. Like there was something about her presence in the room. And she was very proud woman. Worked hard with numbers.
She did.
I'm seeing numbers. Okay. I'm like, my numbers are coming out of my mouth. This is a sign for me. Spirit's telling me, banking, there's something I'm doing numbers, there's something I'm inputting stuff. I spent my life doing this thing, and oh my god, I'm so happy I'm free from this crap. I'm just so happy that I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, she worked at the light company.
Thank you, but but it's that thing here. See, this is how Spirit is showing me her character, and she's just I'm so happy and free because I don't have to go. I got out of that.
Yep.
And she's like, I couldn't take it anymore. It was like killing her soul.
Like it. Yep, she didn't like it.
Something about either traveling by car, but a lot of little trips, a lot of little. Here, I'm going to go here and check this, and I'm going to go here and check that. And she liked to be home, but she liked to go out and check something, and rummage sale and this and that. There was something about I need to go check. I want to go look. And she's very curious. Your mom still is very curious about things, and she liked to collect the funniest, weirdest things. Now, when she crossed over, it was like, oh God, what am I going to do with all that? Yeah.
Oh my God. Can I just tell you, that's so funny because every Christmas, my mother would get us all she would treat us all exactly the same. We all had to get exactly the same thing, the exact same amount, everything very even, very fair. But every Christmas, she would find something like a panini maker. We would all get panini makers. All right. So this year, after she passed, my daughter went out and she got this little angry mama thing that cleans microwaves, just something stupid, but she got one for everybody, and she put from ? Right. So we're kind of keeping my mom's tradition for the weird, strange Christmas, whatever. We got pickle pickers, all these weird little
nails.
Oh, she always did her nails. She had to do her nails.
She's like telling me, John, my nails, I have to do my nails.
Yeah, she had to do her nails. And her hair. She had to curl her hair all the time.
Yeah, but the nails are important.
Lipstick. Yep. Yeah. She would go with my daughter, my sister. My sister, she drove my sister crazy because she had to go all the time.
Yeah.
We have to go to Walmart. We have to go here. We have to go there. We have to pick up my prescription. We have to get that. We have to go. And they couldn't drive anymore because Dad couldn't see. She couldn't drive because she had, issues.
Yeah.
So, drove my people crazy up there with rides here and there. Yeah. That's pretty amazing. I love that. I thank you so much for that.
My pleasure.
It's honest to God. That's amazing. Mom, I hope you're keeping up with all these comments.
Oh yeah. I'm trying not to interfere, but here we go. Okay. Joan says, no one has ever connected to my mom that said something that no one else would know but family.
Well, you should go see people that work at churches and spiritualist churches, and whether it's if you're in America, you can check out different places with Lilydale Assembly and check out.
What state are you in, Joan?
She moved now. She's where did she go? DC? Where did she go? Where did she move to? I forgot. She was in Florida and she moved, and I get it wrong all the time. I thought she moved across to Washington, but it's not. I don't know if it's DC or where she is right now. I can't remember. I'm sorry. So I can't remember why I walked into the room.
Mom lived in New York.
Yeah, well, Lilydale's right there.
Yeah, Lilydale, New York is right there. So, that's Lilydale Assembly. And sometimes you just have to figure out where you're going to go and ask your spirit to lead you to the right medium. I think that's important.
Yeah. She's in Wilmington, North Carolina. So maybe
hello.
We were talking about North Carolina.
Yeah, Wilmington. Oak Island. We're talking about Oak Island, right? You're Wilmington. Well, I'm close to Wilmington in the month of July, and I'll be working at, in the Carolina, working at the store and doing some stuff there. Probably this summer. I actually have an event coming up in Carolina.
Yeah. This one?
Yeah, March 28th at the Broom Closet. Great store. A couple of hours from Wilmington. Love that place.
Yeah. And this is it too. Now, if you wanted to go, this is a Zoom event. Okay. Mm-hmm. And you can scan that QR code to get your tickets, or you can call the Metaphysical Shop, Room Closet Metaphysical Shop at 366-792-6466.
That's
a lot of
336-792-6466.
What did I say?
You said
336.
366.
Oh, 336-792-6466. I apologize. We have to make sure that's right because we have an audio only version. So I want to make sure that
exactly.
the correct information goes out.
This is an interesting one.
Yes,
Can you still connect to a loved one if they've been reincarnated?
Yes, I can connect with a loved one who's been reincarnated because their spirit remembers where they came from past life. Like I can connect with someone who's living.
That's awesome. And again, I'm going to say this one more time because people do have different gifts. So different mediums can do different things. It's all good. You know, we need all the different things. Oh, my mouse is stuck. I'm trying to get back to comments. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Me and my shiny balls. But yeah, you know, like what he can do is pretty amazing. What he just did was really amazing. And
that's just top of mind. That's just like boom. You know, there's no rehearsal. I don't know you. You know, I mean,
I know. I met you yesterday.
Yep. Even if I met you 5 minutes ago, it's the same thing because spirit wants me to help, and boom.
Yeah. I think that's fantastic.
Debbie says, is there a way to make loved ones who have crossed over come through?
Well, you need their permission. You can ask, but you can't force them.
Yeah. It's
Depending
not like direct dial.
No, and you know, I often get a lot of them come through, but it happens sometimes that often enough what happens if the sitter, that's the person that comes to a group, church, and they don't believe in mediumship. So they're blocking that.
Yes.
They're blocking spirit to come through.
Yeah.
I had the client this week and she's like, nobody there. My father has never come through in 40 years. And she goes, he did at the church. Boom. And it was just 100 people sitting in these pews, and I went right to her and said, hey, boom. You know, and it's that connection that I don't choose who and where. Spirit tells me, go here, go there. See, when I was studying at Arthur Findlay in the UK, they make you stand on stage and you hold the power. The British, that's how they do it. And then they tell you, your hand kind of goes, okay, I'm feeling this going here to this person. You're like, can I touch your energy? And then it's like, okay, I'm feeling a mother. Anybody can feel a mother, for the love of God. But then which mother, father or mother's side? What is her name? What was her profession? What was her character or particularities? How did she cross over? Often enough, I'll get pain in my body, whether it's heart. I'll get a feeling of how they cross their disease. Yeah. But that's just to confirm and validate to my client that's coming for a reading that's their mom and not just Susie Q. So in the UK, it was quite interesting that I had to, when I validated, and I was nervous because now I'm in a different country, right? In a 400-year-old school.
Yep. This here, Joan writes again, I'll know if they are the real deal if they mention what happened at her funeral. But again, it's like I've told Joan, several times too, like sometimes people just cross over and they go and they're gone, and they're just not coming back. They're definitely on a path. There's so many realms beyond ours.
Oh, there's many realms. There's dual parallel realms. There's so many realms. Like the question is good, but if that's your humanness asking for details from the particular funeral, maybe the spirit doesn't want to give you details about that. Maybe they want to give you details about the part that she used to bring you every time when you were a kid, you were crying, and how she, the particular details. You may want that to prove the medium wrong. That's fine. I mean, I'm the first one to tell people to tell me nothing. It's not because I don't want to hear you. It's because I want something for me.
Yep. It's called don't feed the medium.
Never.
They don't need snacks. They don't need snacks.
Not even snacks. They need nothing. They have to be on a strict diet. Air only.
Exactly.
I'm good.
A lot of people are loving the show, so of course it means that they love you. We did good. We did good. Colette would like to know if you get anything from her grandparents.
I'm getting a very tall man. It's almost like I'm getting someone who's living on land. There's land. There's a lot of space. And I'm talking about when you were a child, Colette. I'm talking about your grandparents, grandfather. There's something about land, something about vast land. And I need to hear her voice. This is the thing. I'm seeing a picture now. Normally, I need to hear a person's voice in order to know, to connect to their spirit.
Right.
And your grandparents, first of all, your grandparents are okay, Colette. You're carrying a lot of uneasiness because of guilt that you're carrying for them, because how they crossed over. There was things that happened that accelerated, right? So you need to please let that guilt go, because it's not your fault. What happened was the way it's supposed to go. It seems like negligence, but you couldn't have changed the facts. This is what I'm getting for you. And it's show more love to yourself and respect to your grandparents are fine. When people move on to spirit, they're fine. They may be sad a couple of hours or days, and after that they realize the humanness is gone and their higher self, and they look down and they love their loved ones so much. That's why it's important to cry, yes, and grieve, but to remember that as we're grieving, to let them go. As a grief therapist, I always ask my clients when I'm doing therapy in grief to write a letter that their loved one would write to them, and then they read that out loud. So it's a way to give peace to yourself.
Wow.
We do that in grief therapy. So it's a way to give and to speak about your loved one. What was your grandfather's name and grandmother? Keep them alive, their recipe. Celebrate their life, even if they're physically not here, because they are here.
Yeah, exactly.
Grief is a killer. Like when my husband died, it was instant, like totally, out of the blue. And we had businesses together. We had a house together. We had all these things. I had to not grieve. I had to go into full-blown business mode, close down his businesses, get rid of, finish up all the jobs he had out there pending, cancel jobs that we had pending together, because he'd do major construction and I would do finish work, and, he would do cleanup and I would do painting and murals, and, he'd do the roofing and the siding and I did all the interior work and the cabinetry and all that kind of stuff. And then, then he would clean up. Then I had a cleaning company that would come in and clean up everything. It was just like a one-stop shop. You name it, we did it. We build your house. You know what I mean? And it's furnished and it looks lived in for 20 years by the time it's done. And that was it. But I couldn't grieve, and I still haven't.
I'm so sorry for your loss. I hear all the love you have for your husband and how hard you have to go into autopilot when these things happen.
Yeah.
At moments doesn't mean it doesn't catch up with you, right? And
yeah, I've had my moments, and he's been with me. I mean, he came through like insanely loud and he's very big, bold, and out there all the time.
The process, you see, there's anger, there's denial, and then slowly there's acceptance. So when the acceptance comes, then it's missing. You miss that person forever. It's like a tattoo, never goes away, but you learn to live with it.
Yes. Yeah, because I love it when people ask, am I ever going to stop hurting? Am I ever going to stop missing them? No. The pain will lessen. There will always be a certain amount of pain there because it's the physical loss. But they're still with you.
My sister passed when I was 2.5 years old. She was 12.
That's hard.
And growing up with parents that were grieving was so hard. I didn't know.
Yes.
But when you have
they like overly coddle you because of that?
Of course, yeah, that too. But it was just they're not expressing happiness and joy, and that's going to be in my book that I'm launching soon. It's about
which will be coming back for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Published. We need copies, and you're back here.
Yeah, because as a medium, I mean, I went through a lot of pain to try to understand my own life, whether it was sexual abuse or lots of things that happened when I was a child, made me feel like I wasn't worthy, you see. And I remember going to the spiritual shows and feeling like a little mushroom in the corner of the room and feeling I wasn't worthy. And I speak about this openly today because I have the courage to do it, because I can say no to somebody now. And I can say, and this is taking your power back. But as a spiritualist, I know spirit world loves me, but I didn't always know that. I thought, that when we're born, so when babies are born, their hands are like this. And as they open to their parents, they lose their spiritual power, their connection. And it's very fascinating. Yeah, these are things I learned from the people I'm working with that are 80, the elders in the communities that I work with all over the world. And there's knowledge out there, guys. These people have been doing this for 20, 30, 40 they're their 80s. Yeah, some of them are big Christian. That's fine, but it's the knowledge when you read scriptures, when you go to different kind of, there's information out there. You know, there's spiritualism is part of life. How it has been.
Yeah. Oh yeah, going way back.
Oh, yeah.
Divination techniques and tools and tips and psychics and mediums and whatnot. They've been called everything under the sun.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, you throw rocks on.
I feel honored. I feel honored to help people. You know, it's not about the money.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
about to help people. And when I see the smile when someone connected to their loved one,
Mhm.
I forget I can't hug everybody because I feel everything. I've been in bed for a week sick. Like because you take I used to take everything on 20 years ago. Now I'm like, okay, blessings, but I can't take it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that. Mom is a Reiki master. We were doing that stuff like classes I was going to, and I was learning prana healing. And the first time that I was actually scanning a body and I went over a body and I went to her stomach and she had a really bad stomach ache. And it's like I felt it as soon as I get it. And it's just like I felt like I had to pull it and pull it and pull it. Well, everybody was standing around the class, and this is the sound that everybody heard. It went from her stomach into mine.
Amen.
Like a lead balloon. I was like, ow, because I didn't throw it. I was pulling, but I didn't throw it away. I didn't ground it. I didn't get rid of it.
See, when I do this to people, I'm a Reiki master. I learned from a Catholic nun in Montreal. And when you do Reiki on someone energy work, for a woman, I always close her from underneath at the end. Close in the chakras, because if the chakras are open, the person goes into the world, and there's all kinds of spirits, good and bad, out there, guys.
Ready to come in.
And there's all kinds of entities just waiting. A lot of suicides, unfortunately, is because there's things that attach to people. Anger attaches entities that are darkness, lower vibrations. Like love will attract angels and light. But if you're not feeling well, it's going to attract things that are trying to get you down.
Yeah.
Good luck to you, Carmen. Tomorrow she's having an operation tomorrow. I love
Everything
you.
will be fine.
Love you. Prayers. I know you're going to be fine. You're going to be great. But let me know. Okay.
Yep.
Love you.
Okay. We've got a couple of questions in here.
Yeah. She's keeping up with
this one. Do spirits have accents when they pass, if they are from another country or spoke another language?
They have accents. This is a funny one. I was doing a circle in Kirkland, which is a little town close to where I live. And I never do this, but I touched the woman's hand. And all of a sudden, I'm brought to Poland. And I saw my body went back. And I started getting this funny accent. It's English coming through, but I know it was not Italia, because I've been in Italy. I've done mediumship in Italy and Greece, and I've worked in these different parts of the world. And it brought me there. So they have accents, and it comes through, but it cuts sometimes, it's like the words are cut. I understand that they weren't full in English or French.
Right.
And for me, there's no difference what I do in French, Portuguese, or English. My messages come across the same. But I do know when the person was, immigrant, or it was not their first language. I can hear it.
Yep. On our EVPs, we get it all the time. We'll get different languages and we don't know what it is. Bob got one for the Ghost Detective show that he had done, and it was this woman. I can't remember what they call it, but it's something here in Pennsylvania, like Pennsylvania Dutch, and they speak a different way. And it was a whole long sentence that this crazy woman was saying in the background, and it was a Class A EVP, and they had to go figure out what it was, but we'll hear things, we'll dismiss things sometimes, listening to evidence because we don't know the language.
I was in a funeral and I didn't know the deceased person, and I'm standing in front of the coffin, paying my respects, and all of a sudden, I forgive my husband.
Oh boy, okay.
My husband, everybody liked my cooking. It's like that. And I remember a friend of mine, I turned around, she goes, "Oh my God, my uncle cheated on my mother." my aunt. Wow, and it was an Italian mama, and it was interesting to hear that way.
My nonna.
La nonna, yeah.
La mia nonna.
And here we have another one from Lisa. My dad, Alan Michael, was pretty boisterous. He once came through a group of 1,000 people. Any chance you can connect with him? I miss my dad.
Well, I'm getting someone with red cheeks, like fair skin, bigger man. And I'm getting some of that. I walk in a room and it's like, hey, how are you? And this is like bigger man. This is not a small person. This and I'm getting freckles all of a sudden. I don't know why I'm getting freckles or I'm getting like spots. But this is someone who's like, hey, how are you? And we'll go through life like this.
Sorry, Mama, sorry.
And I'm getting someone. The sarcasm is right through the roof. On his thank you for validation. I love when customers, when you tell me validations, I know. But this is big fingers. Like I'm gotta feel like I feel like my fingers have just grown bigger. Like they're like tools.
Sausages.
Well, yeah, I guess you say that. There's bigger fingers, hardworking hands, and manual, and everything was quick. And my bones and thank you. He's a builder. So there we go. That's what your dad was. And but thank you. Yeah. See, normally I wouldn't allow you to tell me these things after only, but I'm getting it's okay. But Lisa, your dad was this is a big bone man. This is someone who was large, and there was problems with walking and bones. Thank you.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
That's what I do.
I love that.
And Carmen lost both my grandparents 6 months of each other. After the grieving was definitely a longer time.
Carmen, my heart goes out to you because when I lost my mom in 21, even if I'm a medium and I connect with spirit, it didn't prepare me for that. That lonely space of no more family left. And I went through this trauma as my mom was passing. I was going to court against my abusers. So I was left with feeling, oh my God, now there's nobody left. Right?
Yeah.
Someone's got your back.
Yeah. And spirit had my back. And the spiritualists that I know at the churches and all these places with the love in America and everywhere I went really helped me get over that love. So I will have to tell you, find community and go find love sometimes. Don't shelter yourself because what happens is the pain gets crystallized. So by going out to people you trust, you see, in community, there's grief groups that are free. Normally in palliative care units, they have free grief. I'm all about telling people to go to free things because I know life is hard. Not everybody can afford it.
Free is free.
But the thing is, when it comes to this, it's so hard to have such loss in such short period of time that even if you get validations from a medium, you still have that, oh my God, I have to do the succession. I have to sell things. You're in shock.
Yep.
But my heart goes out to you because I understand.
Colette's leaving. All right, have a good night, Colette. Oh, gosh. Yeah, my dad will give me signs like I know when he's around because like I'm the jack of all trades. Like I'm a builder, I'm a tool belt diva, all those things, and I'm claircognizant. Like I just know how to do all those things, right?
So you can tell me how we build my home.
I could. 100%. 100%. I'll build you a palace. But my dad, he was in construction too, and I learned by watching him. You know what I mean? He would teach me by letting me do things. Amazing. He wouldn't interfere unless I was going to cut my finger off or something. He wouldn't say anything. He'd be like, "Here's the tool. There's the wood. What do you need?" You know what I mean? And I'm like, "Okay, well,
he gave you great life skills."
Huh?
He gave you great life skills.
He did. Oh, he did.
Exactly.
About it.
Sharon will do the electrical and wiring in your house.
Yep. All right, Sharon. I don't do plumbing. I don't like plumbing. I can do it. I hate it. Good. Yeah, but I will get when my dad is around, I will smell sawdust. That's how I know my dad's around.
Validation.
Yeah. Put tools in my hands. All right. Because I have 2 daughters. All right. 2 beautiful daughters. One of them I buy tools for every Christmas. Right? Like she's got a great setup now. Like last Christmas, I got her an angle grinder and what did I get? Oh, and a saber saw. She didn't have a saber saw. I'm like, you don't have a saber saw. So anyway, I got her those 2 things, but I've gotten her everything. Okay. She's all set. And she can do and use any tool under the sun. My other daughter is this a screwdriver?
That's me. Talk talk about emotions, talk about therapy, talk about doing conferences. I'll do that. But building, my brother's a builder here in Montreal.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Okay. Nicole says, I hear my mom all the time. She's always around too.
Yes.
Aw, isn't it great? I love that. I do love that.
I asked my
Sharon-
mom for recipes. I asked my mom for recipes when I'm cooking a traditional dish.
Oh,
And
wow.
obviously,
Yeah.
All right,
could-
good. Very good
Sharon's
with the
also
plumbing.
doing the plumbing.
I hate plumbing. I don't know what it is about plumbing. I just hate plumbing.
My family in Medford would love for me to move to US.
No, not
Hey,
yet.
I'm here. You can go visit Mama. I know you're like an hour away from Mama, but then come down here, and then you can come to our events that we do, all that kind of stuff. All right, Debbie. When a loved one comes through, how do you know they came through, or it's not your mind playing tricks on you? Good question.
Well, good question. Perfect. Well, I remember when I first lost my mom. I went to the palliative care just to make sure her body got to for some weird reason. I just wanted to make sure her body. And I was singing a song when they were removing the body from the room into the hearse because I wanted to make sure I was going to accompany her completely from the palliative to go home. And on the drive back, my ex was driving and big car, and I see this truck right in front of us, and it said St. Michael. That's the island I'm born in, Portugal, and my mother came from, and it was a validation. And right there, I felt her hug me, so I knew it was her. Prior to that, I've had situations where it was COVID, and my mom was in the senior residence in Laval, which is a city close to me, and I was so worried, like, oh my God, is she going to die? Does she have COVID? I don't know what's going on, And I felt my sister for the first time. My sister died, I was 2.5, and I felt her hug me. My imagination has played tricks where I thought when I was younger. Now I know when spirit is around me. I just feel it.
Yeah.
I feel shivers all around. I feel confirmation. I call it God bumps, goosebumps. You just
There's different kinds of chills. There are the scary chills, scared chills.
Oh God, yeah. We're gonna talk about that.
And then you got the confirmation chills that will go like up your spine and down your arms. They're different chills. And different tones and different everything. There's different everything.
Here we go, Lisa. My dad sends a white egret bird on my birthday. Why are animals chosen representatives for our loved ones? This brings us around to the question that Gina asked earlier. So, okay, we'll let you discuss about animals.
Well, animal kingdom, birds, they're easily, spirit easily communicates with them. Right. And animals are in the present moment, always in the present. When spirit comes close to them, they really feel them. Notice how my cat will look up.
Yeah.
And I know there's a spirit there with and spirits will come through my house like a highway. It's not, it's not Maryland, like the highway, so they drive so faster. It's not that. But my cat will feel if something is close.
Yeah. But spirit animals, I mean, things are sent to us. Okay, now we have butterflies in a fox right there. Butterflies and Mama D. Mama D, if you talk to Mama D and she's giving you a consultation, you may notice a butterfly within the next couple days because her messages and her overviewing you will be coming through with the butterfly. And everybody says they see him. Same thing with the fox. I'll talk to people and all of a sudden they say, I have never seen a fox in my yard, but there's foxes in my yard. So I'm like, because, I send my foxes out to watch over you. The fox is the guardian between this realm and the next. I asked him before the show, I kind of tilted because you have a little glare on there. Tilt. There it is.
Yeah,
okay.
perfect.
I asked John before the show, I said, what is your spirit animal? Boom. It's a moose. Mama D looked up what the moose's
what the symbolism is.
And what the particulars were. And it was John to a T. To a T. So we all have our spirit guides. However, now the white birds, okay, like they always say about like the white owl. White owl, people will see white owl and that signifies death, but it also can signify wisdom. But it's carrying spirits to the next realm. The white might be significant about that egret. The egret itself, so the white might be that part of that white owl, okay? because it's a connection to the spirit realm. And egret may have something to do particularly with your mom. So what I would do is I would look up, what does egret mean for a spirit animal, and see, does that pertain to mom? And that's what I would go by.
There's a book called Animal Speaks.
Yes, I have it.
And
oh, you have it?
Okay. Oh, yeah. Egret symbolisms and meanings. Need help moving through uncertainty. Look for opportunities for personal growth. Egret, as a spirit, totem, and power animal, can help. Egret teaches you how to find bearings while showing you how to adapt to challenges in your life. Delve deeply into the egret symbolism, meaning to find out how this animal spirit guides can illuminate, motivate, and enlighten you.
How perfect is that for a mothering spirit?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty awesome. I hope that.
I think it's the dad, though, that sent it.
Makes your day. You know?
Yeah, it's her dad who sent the egret.
Oh, the dad sent. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, same thing as a parent, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever. It's overseeing, you know? I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about my mom.
Lisa, shoot me a message after the show, and I'll read you the book on what it says on the book in Spirit Animal Guides.
And then Nicole throws in here too. I have chills outside in my backyard. At dark, sometimes I see shadows move.
Now, where you live? Sorry, what was your name again?
Nicole.
Oh, is there a cemetery not far from you?
If you're still here, Nicole.
I'm just feeling that there's a lot of movement in the back of your house, and not too far away is a cemetery. I just feel there's either grounds that were cemetery. There's a lot of people buried.
Says yes, very close by.
Okay, well there you go, because they're actually coming in and by, and you're seeing shadows. They're preparing you for you to see more. You're getting chills because there's all kinds of mixtures out there in and out. So you're not able to tell and know what's going on. Are they from the light? Are they from this? Maybe you feel pulling at you sometimes. You know, don't get afraid. Don't be afraid, because we have, as human beings, we have a dominion to say no.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, we're the living. We are the ones with the power here over that realm.
We do.
For the most part. So, you know, I mean, there's the exceptions. There's always an exception to all the rules, but that's I'm going to use. Okay, I'm going to use this saying. All right, the demons in the community are the minority, not the majority. Okay,
amen. It's true.
Rarely does that happen. Now, I used that saying not too long ago about the Super Bowl.
Don't mention my Super Bowl. Okay, the Eagles
connect with the majority of people and not the minority of people. Thinking about numbers of people, but that's what by majority and minority is numbers of people. Nothing to do with race, creed, or color.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, yeah.
Okay, so that's why I had to say that, because I got bombarded. I had to take my post down. I was like, people.
What did they forget about? They think you were talking about racism.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm like the furthest from a racist that you have ever met in your entire life.
Good Lord, she loves me.
If your color of your skin is pink, purple, blue, or orange, I don't give a shit. Right? People are people. I love people.
Yep.
I either love you or I hate you. It's one or the other. But anyway, okay. So Nicole says she's empathic, clairvoyant, and clairaudient. I did know. And yeah, so
I do give training. I will be giving training in not in the summer because I'm pretty busy, but more in the fall. I have a couple of people want to get training for psychic mediumship and how do I work and how do I do this. I'm being selective of who I'm training also.
Now, why, Sharon, do you think that would be your grandfather? She said she saw a huge deer sitting on a rock last night. I believe it's my grandfather.
Well, your grandfather was a man who was a thinker. And then I'm getting someone who used to just sit there and contemplate in this connection with the seer, the deer on the rock.
He always went deer hunting. Okay.
But that's a sign. But when you hunt deer, you stay quiet and you contemplate.
Yes. Oh yeah, you gotta be quiet. That's for sure.
Or else you won't hunt.
Fishing. His last name was Trout. Yep.
Outdoorsman, so you know.
Oh. Okay. Lisa, I strongly feel my dog Leo is a reincarnation of my Maltese, Mookie. Can you connect with animal spirits? Oh, hell yes. Meaning, if my dog Leo was sitting with you, can you potentially connect with Mookie, or who Leo is a reincarnation of?
You're saying it's a reincarnation, so
Mookie passed Leo here.
Spirit. So Mookie is the one in spirit, right?
Yes.
There's similarities, but I see them playing together.
Mm-hmm.
Leo playing with Mookie. I see a lot of that. They're playing together because often enough, he's off in a corner where Mookie used to be and happens that Mookie used to do. But they're playing together in spirit. They keep each other company because our animals follow us. They may pass away, but they're with us. My chocolate lab is always with me.
Yep.
You know, she passed in 23, and she's always with me. She protects my house from spirit, and she growls.
Yep.
So they're with us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lacey used to give me signs all the time. I used to tell Mama all the time.
God, yes.
I get up and I mean, I was a house cleaner. I cleaned the house after Lacey died because she had fur everywhere. So I would vacuum everything, and then I would get up here on the second floor. There was no food on the second floor. I would get up and I would step on food, and I'd be like, "Oh, Lacey," right? And then I'd be like, "Oh, Lacey," and I pick it up, and I have all the little chunks of food in a little tin thing. She left me because I gave her this food that had life bits in it. They look like little dried up blueberries of sort. She hated those. She spit those out. She would eat her food and leave all the life bits, right? I think they were too hard on her teeth or something. She was like a little princess. But she left me her food, and then she left me life bits, and then all of a sudden there's like dog bones. And I mean, I have vacuumed my house like profusely. Where she's getting this food, I have no idea, but I was also saying, please give me a sign, because it broke my heart. It shattered me.
It's very hard.
That to the point where I said, I will never have another animal. Okay. Because she was the last connection to my husband. It's like in my lab. Because I always had black labs. I never had a little dog. I always had black labs. And my black lab was dying. And my daughter would bring over a little chihuahua, and he would liven up. So I'm like, I need a little dog. I need a little dog for my Max. And I got Lacey. And I didn't know what to do with her. And she was this big. And she was tiny. And she was precious. And she was beautiful. And I would lay her down with Max. And Maxie just smothered her, And then 2 weeks later, I had to put Max down. A year later, my husband died. All I had was Lacey, and then she died when I was here.
Lacey is Gina's child. Was Gina's child. Lacey had a chair at the table.
Yep.
Would sit. Those baby booster chairs that would sit on the. That's what Lacey had. There you go. My little Lacey face.
So there's my little Lacey. And my Biscuit when I said I wasn't going to get another animal, and I got Biscuit, was a rescue.
I understand, because my dog died. It was 2 years after my mother. And it was so hard. It was just so hard to put her down.
Yeah.
And I cried for my mom, but for my dog, it was just a different level.
But more. It's like more. I swear I cried more for Max than I did when my husband died. But then again, I didn't have time to grieve when my husband died because I had to go and work.
We grieve through another grief, but we haven't grieved in the first one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It just keeps going. It keeps compounding, And then I lose my mom and dad within 10 months of each other. And then I lose Biscuit, who I only had for 3 years. But I'm telling you, I could not have loved that dog anymore. That dog he's
you have so much love to give, and it's sometimes people don't want to get other animals, but we're actually helping them. And when you get them, you're giving them so much love, and they give us love, right?
Yeah. Biscuit, oh my God, what a good dog he was. He stole my heart. I could not be. He had to see me every minute of every day. You know what I mean? Like he had to be right there with me. No matter what room I'm in, he's following me. You know, if he fell asleep and woke up and I wasn't there, he'd panic.
Yep.
You know, and it's like, it's okay, Biscuit, you know. But yeah, to see
The
him.
thing was, Gina, is you when Lacey left, you said you would never get another animal, never get another. But the thing is, you didn't. Biscuit got you.
I know.
There's a difference.
I know. And then Bob, I was crying about it one day, and Bob's like, "That's it. We're gonna go get a puppy." I'm like, "No, I can't. I can't do it. I can't have my heart." Yeah, and he did. Yeah, Sharon said that he looked like a little fox. He did, you know, and he needed rescuing. And I'm so glad that I did. But
if and when the time comes, somebody else will get you.
Yeah,
I don't think I'll survive another loss like that. I swear to God, I don't. You know, like I can only bottle down so much stuff. You know,
it's gonna come out and clean you out. I mean, when you have something love to give. You know,
this is a conversation we'll have to have off the air because you and I will be cussing. I will be cussing at you. So okay.
I'll be sensible with you.
Girl, Garcia. I can see spirit, hear them, and I often feel how someone has passed. This past summer, some new gifts started, and my hearing spirit got a lot less. Do you know why this happens?
Well, it changes. It spirit trains us to develop. Every medium has different gifts, right?
Yep.
Not everybody can give evidence.
Nope.
Not everybody can hear. Some people see, and the seeing doesn't happen always. It happens to most of us in the beginning, and then the seeing goes away. Now you're saying you were hearing spirits, and you're hearing a lot less. Well, if you're busy, so I'll give you an example. The more monkeys I have in my brain, and the more I keep those things in, and I got to do the laundry, and I start getting busy up there with all the thinking of a lot of stuff is nonsense, but it's human nature.
Right.
When I go to Vipassana, which is a 10-day retreat of no talking, guess what? This opens. And that.
I don't think I could do that.
Oh, I love doing that. I would go every month. It's 10, they have 30 days. Just there's no talking, no looking, no cell phone, no writing, no pass the sugar, nothing. And what happens there is your spirit becomes so calm. And what happens, that's when you get closer to the spirit world that's always there. But if you have little kids and if you have a job and you're running around and you cannot be there. You see, when I go to these spiritualist churches, I don't speak to people, not because I don't like them. I go in and I sit in silence. I wasn't always like that. I was like, hey, how are you? And you get to know people, right? And at one point I said, I have to go to a quiet space in order for spirit to sit with me.
Yep.
Or else, because what happens with talking, the tongue is power, you see. The more we talk, the more power is lost. The more we're quiet, the more we go in, and that's where freedom happens. Same thing with spirit. You're going to hear more, but it's that quiet space that makes the voices, makes spirit get stronger.
That's awesome. That is awesome. What about things like this, like using quartz, things like that? So this is just a clear quartz, to amplify your powers. Do you use anything like that?
Oh, I have so many. Look, I have that.
Nice.
I have so many. You know what? I use them. I have so many things. I call it spiritual insecurity because I have so many objects, right? They help, like, negative energy, right? Yeah, they do. I'm wearing this. This was my mom's for tonight's show. I'm going to wear that with my mom's. And my Reiki master was a nun, and she said, the biggest crystal you have is in here.
Mm-hmm.
I can wear all the stuff I want. I even have this. This is from Germany.
Oh, isn't that cool?
It's all the religions of the world, and and the back is the flower of life, right? So I got that not because I don't like Jesus or anything like that. Just I had to get off the cross and stop being a victim, and I had to do it. I'm sorry. I love Jesus.
I do too, but well, that's what the church does. They make you feel guilty,
Lime walls.
Lisa Michelle says, "I like your loving your lime green walls. That's a
Well,
powerful color.
it is, and it's my website.
welcoming to spirit?
Yeah. You know what? It's my website, jonfurtadomedium.com. It's green. And there was a
Right.
reason, green elevates the heart. Yes, thank you. Look how good you are. I have no idea how you do all that. Seriously. And I had this conversation privately with you where I was like, oh, good Lord, how do you do all that?
This is something, in all honesty, having a show
I'm going
like
to put
we
this up
have,
here too, just so
yes,
that's going
please.
across the bottom.
Having a show like we have, it can be done as solo, because both Gina and I have had solo shows, but it works better as a team
Well, I find
because we share the work.
as a guest, you have different ideas. So if one misses something, the other one comes in, and
Yeah, exactly.
So
Hey,
Luann,
Luann,
Luann's leaving. Luann, I love you so much. Please let me know what goes on with the psychic and what happens. All right. So right when you leave there, give me a call or text me or something. Okay. Love you. Love you.
And by the way, my mediumship, my website is in Canadian dollars, so the Americans get 30% discount.
Whoop whoop. It's always nice to talk Canadian. Sorry. And Carol Garcia says, "Thank you so much. I will do more quiet time."
Awesome.
Sometimes just a candle from Dollar Tree and quiet time, and that's it.
Yep. You can buy a dollar store candle, and you can buy a candle that's being sold for $30.
It's all the same.
Same thing. It's the intention that you use it with. You use with it with.
Keyword. Say it again, Mama.
The word of the day is intention.
There it is.
Nothing to do with intention. There will be a quiz at the end of the show. Please make sure you pay attention and take notes.
I love you, Mama.
You have no fun.
I like this.
And to think we've never met in person yet.
I know. That's why I said he lives so close to you.
If anybody ever sees us in public together, we're going to go grocery shopping. Because Gina hates it. I'm not crazy about it, but I know if I can make Gina crazy, it's going to be fun.
I hate grocery shopping.
I'm going to bring her to Trader Joe's.
Oh, my God. No, we need to bring her to Costco.
Costco?
Well, Costco has cool stuff. All right, I'll go to a store that has cool stuff. It's not just food. I hate food shopping. I will go shop. Look it. I have so much stuff. And we're like the scrunched version. Have you seen this whole office? Oh my good God. The whole house is full like this. I love stuff.
She actually took me on a virtual tour ways back. And I was like, holy shit.
Well, I'm giving away a lot of stuff.
On the topic of color, I am an interior designer like Gina. My use of color is what people love about my work. I feel like I'm a healer when it comes to color. It changes energy in space. Absolutely, it does.
Well, Lisa, I used to sell high-end furniture. I used to go to North Carolina, buy furniture for Fraser Furniture in Montreal. And color has always been a beautiful way of different phases of my life. There was green for the heart, blue for the higher chakras. So color actually brings healing. And there's studies that, that's why hospitals in certain places have certain colors to calm people down or to excite you. Like I put green, yes, for the heart, but also to invigorate me. And there's something very powerful. So good for you for using this interior design. I studied fashion design years ago. I don't do that anymore. But the fact that you're using color,
I had decorative solutions for many years. So I was actually Woman of the Year one time.
I'm part of the Rotary Club, and the Rotary Club auctioned me out in New York State as a medium.
Awesome.
Which is pretty cool.
Did they make big money?
Awesome.
Yeah, they did a little bit of money on me.
Would it be something you would do again?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I'm speaking in the I'm actually going to co-host the Calgary International Rotary Club Convention in June with
where is that?
The district governor,
Calgary,
Alberta,
Canada.
It's across from Montana or that whole area, right? The mountains.
Okay.
I'm actually doing that, and it's an opportunity to give out my business card as a medium and to get known. And there's no more shame in being a medium for me. It's just
hell no.
Well, that was the thing about me being a designer. You go and you start ripping up someone's house, and things are happening, and it's like, do you tell the people? Do you not tell the people? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would try to like quietly and in my mind, talk to them, but I wouldn't say it to other designers because they poo-pooed upon that kind of stuff too, And I
Yeah.
know they were dealing with the same stuff, maybe not to my level. I don't know, because I think they know that I'm more open, or have been or whatever. But then I just said, I don't care what y'all think, because this is
No.
what's happening. All
We
right.
all
They don't
go
like
through that.
this wallpaper choice.
Yeah. We
Right?
all go
They
through
hate it. So do you want to live comfortably? Then put something that's similar to what they had.
exactly.
Right.
Carol says, I talk about intention often. I definitely needed to hear it coming from someone else. I always say thoughts become.
They do.
Yes.
And Carol, I will go a step further. Reverend Julia Enoch, she's in her 80s. She's the Reverend at the International Temple of Spiritual Revelations. And when she teaches mediumship, it's interesting. She'll be like, okay, ask spirit to come to you. And she's just 6'1" black woman. And she's like, ask spirit to come in. And so the intention of asking spirit to come, you're asking to come, and you're, because spirit is intuition, is creativity. It's the right side of the brain. And when you create, you ask the intention, you're building up that synergy. And what you're telling spirit is, I'm here, I want you, come. And that's how you build it up.
Yeah.
Spirit is exciting. It's not supposed to be boring.
All right. Okay, here we go. Lisa says, I had lime green walls in my house. Now my palette has earthy jewel tones. The younger me needed bright colors. Funny how that changes. Yeah. Well, I'm a gaudy Italian. I would take, the marble and the statues and the faux painting and the murals and the everything any day. All the books,
Black and gold bathroom.
and the old furniture and the leather, and I love it. I'm a very traditional gaudy Italian.
Lisa, I have a creative spirit guide team. It's so funny.
That's good. That is
that's
good.
the thing. A lot of people don't. I
What?
think that a lot of people think that when you have a spirit guides, that they just help you. Well, a lot of people think that they just help you with spiritual things, but you'd be amazed at how your what I call my dream team helps me with other things.
Everything.
Like I'm sitting there and I'm trying to figure something out for work. You know, I can't shut up. And I work at customer service. So sometimes there's like, I'm not connecting as Mama D. I'm connecting as Darlene and and I'm doing my thing. And all of a sudden, like today, all of a sudden I had this gentleman call up and go, well, I had a package that was supposed to be delivered to me and it wasn't delivered to me. And then there was just this pit in my stomach going, something not right. And then the name he gave me and the didn't fit his voice. It's like, hi, my name is John. Oh no, my name is John. I can't even do it. It was just, it didn't work. So these are things that your team helps you with and things that you don't realize. So your creativity is your team is part of it. It builds into whoever is with you, builds into your team. And if you're missing something, trust me, that team, the ones you have, will find someone to help you with what you need. Even if it's just a temporary fix, they will bring someone in to help you with what you're what you need help with at that time.
One of these days, I want to meet the guy that's always giving me all the information on how to build anything and everything under the sun. Like the looks, I look at a room, I see it blown apart. I look at a piece of furniture, I see it blown apart. I know exactly how to build it. And I thought everybody saw things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's funny because in Sedona, I remember going to Cottonwood, a little town right off Sedona, and there's a haunted coal mountain. And everybody's, I forget the name now, but it'll come back to me. But everybody was super scared to go to this place. And there's a old hospital there, and I'm scared of heights. But I drove from Montreal with Sedona, so forget about heights. You're gonna go through mountains, right? And it was a way to heal. It was a way to heal. But I think it's called not Jacqueline. The name will come back, but it was super haunted. And there's Dolly Parton has a company called Pink Jeeps in Sedona, and she does tours to vortexes and all this. And they do a tour of this place, and the mountain is supposed to be like, haunted. And all I felt, I did feel spirits there, but I didn't feel evil. I felt sadness. The spirits were locked in. And as I found out there was a beautiful, it's a copper town. And
was it mining? Because
Yeah,
It was mining.
copper, and mining copper. And you know what? The woman, there was a copper store, beautiful, beautiful things in there. And I walked in, I said, "This belonged to your grandmother." She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh," and I started connecting with spirit. And she said to me, "Well, the town's not really haunted. We have an insane asylum on top of the hill was a hospital." And the town is built like on a mountain. So as you go up, you can see a drop of 5,000 feet. So, there's no fence, there's no, it's a bit like the $1 Million Highway in Colorado, which is completely insane. But what happened there was Spirit said to me, "No, there are angry spirits here." And the reason was this family, the Clark family owned this mountain, and everybody in that town worked for the family. There were 6 children, 5 passed. The only heir that was left over, she lived in Manhattan and had a penthouse in 1920. So the whole town worked to enrich her. So of course they're upset when they're going to pass over.
Yeah.
And I remember the hype, just like New Orleans, right? And New Orleans has a lot of ghost stories and beautiful things, like the essence of New Orleans, the voodoo, all that was amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been to many, 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 many haunted locations. Where I get, like a lot of people say, "Oh, we got to ghost hunt at night." Right? My best evidence I've ever gotten in my entire life has always been during the day. Okay. But I got 15 apparitions walking on a thermal camera, during the day. But it was a feeble-minded boys' school. And, at first you would think when you first started looking at it that it would be like a residual thing because they were coming out to play basketball. I was in a basketball court, right? But they stopped. They were in their like little room, their changing room. They stopped at the door and they're like peeking at me and looking out like, we're out there. We're interfering with their game now, and they don't know whether to come out to trust us or not. But I also had a spirit box going at the same time. So it's like, right? Not a peep coming through from that. But I've got all these people walking. Also up top, because it was a sunken basketball court, I've got these hands gripped on a fence and the spirit going like this, like looking down. Like I said, they're feeble-minded, so they they would do that. They would, kind of make these kind of motions. So it was just looking down, and it's like it's unbelievable. I got a little piece of it on here. If you want to see it, I can show it to you.
Yeah.
What now? Do you want to see it now?
Yes. Don't talk about it and not show it. Don't make me come over there.
Hold on, I gotta find it. Okay.
Love
Here it is.
bullet.
Now, this is only a minute of the actual 15-minute clip because this kind of had the most at the one time.
Don't be afraid of that device. It's just so we can hear you talk.
So that's one walking right there. That's my friend. There's another one coming out. And then it's like, wait a minute, I'm going back. Oh, wait a minute, can I come out? I don't know if I can come out. There's one in the background that started to show, peek a little, and went backwards.
Hello. Hi. Yes, it is.
And you can even see a shadow from it, which is wild.
Yes.
But if that was a human, it would be orange because it would show heat. This is a purple figure that is devoid of any heat whatsoever.
Hello. Keep coming. It's okay. We're not going to hurt you. Right there. Look at.
Excuse the language.
Don't be afraid of us. Come in. If that's you, come in.
Wow.
I know, right? And that's like, I've got so many things like that. It's beyond. Okay. And, but again, in the background of that, I don't know if you could hear it, but it was like, and usually, so it's again, you either see them or you hear them.
Yeah, and both.
No.
It's very rare.
Yep. So, but it's craziness. It's craziness. And, the asylums, those things like that, they hold so much energy, because this school, and they tore that building down. Now, that is a question I would like to ask you. When they tear down the building, and then believe me, when I tell you that I was in every inch of this building, and there was the basketball court where that was, above it was a auditorium. There was a changing room off the end. All right. So we went from, like, when that video there, we were standing underneath the basketball hoop. We went from there into the little changing room. There was a little spiral staircase. there. And I was just doing EVPs at the time. And I said, oh, and I was talking to my friend. I said, oh, I wonder why there's a spiral staircase here, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, well, wait a minute. I'm going to ask them, why is there a spiral staircase here? Plain and loud and clear for rushing back and forth. Right? Like, duh, okay. You know, but it's like all these energies. And then we went upstairs to the auditorium. We were playing on the stage, you know, we were doing a little show and all this kind of stuff and everything on the stage, dancing, all that. And we hear in the background, which I think is the one that was holding onto the fence, Chris. And he would say, Chris, crisscross. And then he would bang on things and he'd go, crisscross, bang, bang. Right. And like, so he'd say bang, bang. And then he actually hit like a pipe, bang, bang, you know. And I think that was him. But like all these spirits, and this is just little bits of what has actually gone on in this building. I even heard the alarms of what would be like for intermission or something, you know, and there's no electricity. This building's half, you know, dilapidated, you know, but they tore it down. So now I haven't gone back there since they tore the building down. What about the spirits that are there? Are they still in the same?
They're still there. They're still there. If they haven't been cleared up, and if they're lost, sometimes they get stuck on Earth. They're earthbound. So even if this building is stared down, they're in that area, that vicinity.
But are they still seeing the building the way that it was, or are they just kind of?
Well, they're roaming around. They try to. They see it, but they know the physicality is gone. But they stay in the area. And sometimes they get upset.
Yeah, I would imagine that they would be.
Yeah.
You know, because I think that was their happy place. You know,
in this mountain, when I visited, people in Sedona were doing all kinds of tours. I have to find out the name for you. It was just, it was near Cottonwood. Let me see. And if you would go on my Instagram, you would see the readings I did for people like live. So I was in San Diego, and I got a woman from Cottonwood, and her father passed away. And she's like, I said, your father lived in Cottonwood. I never met her. It's all on Instagram. And this is on my Instagram, if you go check it out. And it was really interesting because I physically went to these places, even though their father's house wasn't standing. I said to her, your father's from Cottonwood. And I said, there's a rib restaurant, and there's the Dirty Hippie, which is a closed restaurant, and a street that leads to the canyon from the back roads to the highway. And it's a third house from the left. That's where your daddy lived. And she goes, oh my God, yeah. And I never met her. This is all on Instagram, IG Live, right? And but spirit, because the building wasn't standing, I was still able to connect that with her father's house, the third from the street corner.
Wow.
The spirit remembers they lived there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really, yeah. So that's always the question that I've always, you know, wanted the answer to, because people said, well, have you gone back there? It's like, no, I don't live there anymore. I don't go there anymore. And the building's down, and you're not supposed to be in there anyway. So, you know, I know there's still some of the buildings left. I mean, there was a lot going on in that whole area, that whole place. That was Belchertown. The other one that I got a lot from was like Norwich, you know. They're insane. Penhurst is crazy. And this is why, you know, we're trying to, that's why we do the Penhurst Paracon, is because we're trying to preserve the location. And they're doing a damn good job at it too. So all the money that's raised, like we kill ourselves for this event, and we don't make a dime off this event, you know, because it all goes to Penhurst. And but it's to preserve this place in those spirits that are in there too, you know.
Well, you're actually doing an honor to them, to preserve them, to listen to them, and then to ask them to clear up and go away, like go back to the light, where they get stuck earthbound.
Yeah, but they don't know. These are spirits that are, they're beyond, you know what I mean? Like that, they can't communicate, they can't talk, they can't, you know, there's a lot of people too, like they, you know what they like, because we do make equipment for the paranormal. We make trigger prop cats and dogs, and they're realistic. They love patting the cats and the dogs there, because that's something they can do, you know. Like we made a Ouija board that lights up by spirit lights it up, not, you know, you don't touch it, the spirit does it all. And we brought it there. We, you know, we were trying to do a little beta testing, but I'm thinking about it. I'm like, these people can't spell. They can't, you know, half of them are, you know, their hands are stuck or they're whatever. They can't go over there and press on this board. But what they can do is go over, and even if they use their head to pet an animal, you know, and that's like their happy place. And they do like the toys and stuff, you know. So it's again to, like, you know who you're talking to, know your audience. treat everybody with respect and love and kindness.
Even the dead, even the people who have crossed over, because
Well,
they have.
that's what I'm talking about.
That's I wanted to make clear that, because a lot of people think, well, if you're doing an exorcism, if you're doing this, there's ways to talk to them. There's ways to respect them.
Oh yeah, and you do that too. You don't advertise that a lot, but you will help people. You'll help people do that kind of stuff too, and we do too. Because again, like you said, the counselors, right? It's like, okay, well, if you can live together, good, but if you can't, and the spirit doesn't want to leave, sometimes you have to remove them. Physically, emotionally, physically, spiritually, all of it.
When I was at the Vatican, I bought this ring, because I was just in Italy, and it's the Our Father, in Latin, and I remember feeling this energy from the beneath the Vatican that was just heavy, 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 heavy. And there were certain sites in Europe. Europe's very old. Certain sites where you can feel, something's following you. And in Florence, in Firenze, they call it Florence for Americans and Canadians, and Firenze for the Italians. And they're like, qua in Italia, here in Italy, the devil runs at night, the demons, and during the days, the angels, they have these perceptions because of dogma, So it's infusing the fears, which if there's an angry spirit gets infused by, if you get scared of it, it gets more powerful.
Right. But that is true. That is true. Are you keeping up with these? Okay. Hi, Lisa.
No, I'm not keeping up with anything. I'm just sitting here bored at my mind.
Because I don't know what's going on over here anymore.
Carol said I had a great conversation with a spirit named King at Penter's in the Penter's boiler room.
Yeah, and King loves the cats. King doesn't like the animals, the dogs, but King likes to pet the cats. Yeah, that King. That's the basement of Mayflower. Yeah, it's a real powerful spirit there. Definitely.
And Lisa, the type of spirits you are speaking of, Gina, how do you prevent attachment? Plus, you're so nice. They probably will want to come home with you.
Grounding and shielding. I ground and shield twice a day, every day. I wake up, I ground and shield. I go to bed, I ground and shield. It's like I wake up and I get rid of the stuff that tried to get me all night. And then I'm clear for the day. And at night, I clear the stuff that tried to get me all day. And I'm ready for the night. But if I'm going to a place, and I'm going to Penhurst, because, they know you're open. But I ground, and I have a method, and I use the energy, and I'm going to have everybody do this. Go like this, really fast, okay? And then hold your hands. Oh, I can't do this on here. But hold your hands as far apart as you can, and then start slowly coming in, and you'll feel like a resistance, okay? This is your energy. This is like your chi, okay? Your energy ball. I take that energy, and I form it into a ball, and I push it all the way through me and all the way down, all the way, feet on the ground, not crossed, feet on the ground, and you get all the negative energy out. And then what you have to do after that, once you have energy out, you have to do the same thing again. And now you ask whatever the light is that you need at the time. Check out, you go online, you can check it all out. What the white light means, the green light, blue light, whatever, not a golden light, without pull in golden light. If I want healing, I'll pull in, like the blues and the greens and whatever. But I will fill myself up with that light, and I will overfill myself so that I make a big bubble around me. The big bubble around me is now full, and what I do is, in my mind's eye, this bubble has mirrors on the outside of it. So if anything negative was to come at me, it's going to see itself, it's going to scare itself, and it's going to go away. And it is not going to attach to me. And that is what I do when I'm going to a location. So I don't do that every day. I don't do that thing with the mirrors every day, just when I'm going to a location. But I do fill my bubble. I do cleanse out the bad. But you do, sometimes if you're full of sludge and you're very empathic and you're touching and you're talking to people and you're getting all that sludge and it's filling you up all day long, and it's just like, by the end of the day. And sometimes you literally have to scrape this stuff away. But the main thing is throw it away, ground it, throw it away, scrape it all out of you, throw it away. But never leave yourself open, never leave yourself blank. Fill it with a good light.
Yep. 100%.
What do you do, John? How do you?
The sacred, I'll in the shower in the morning. I'll be in the shower, and I'll ask the sacred water to come in and just wash away And when you look at snowflakes, they have a pattern, right? The water cleanses and just cleanses away everything. And then I think once everything is cleansed, and the rain actually, I can do this sitting on a bus driving, the water, and I'm gonna close my eyes when you're driving, please. But the water,
Yeah, don't do that.
no, don't do that. But when you're, the water, and you're just water comes down and just washes away everything. And then I think of a strong wind like in Sedona in Arizona, New Mexico, this beautiful wind comes and just dries me out. And I ask the sacred white light. I always call upon the white light to come in and to infuse me and to just clean any crevice of me or anything that doesn't belong to me. And I ground that into Mother Earth.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's one powerful way that I've learned to do.
Yeah. Water is absolutely great. Going outside barefoot, connecting to there. That's so.
When I work in these spiritual
standing in a stream is great. Chris used to do the ocean. What do you do, Mama?
My feet have to be on the ground. They don't have to. I generally, as much except for in the winter, I'm barefooted. No matter where I go, what I do, it's barefooted. Which gets me in trouble sometimes. Those little footsies.
I'm barefooted right now. I'm always barefoot. Always.
I can visit. Where's the word? Sorry, brain's gone on the fart. Visually, I'm emptying everything out, and all the negative goes into the ground, goes deep down into Mother Earth. I see it doing that, and then she does her thing with it and cleans it, because that's the only way to clear negative energy for me is I put it into Mother Earth. She has nothing but she's like a charcoal filter of the nasty water. So that's what she does. And then I ask her once it's clear, if that's not clear, just to refill me back up from the feet up, and I become like a sprinkler. The energies just come flowing out, and it just completes.
Yep.
And it's something I wasn't taught, and it's instinctive. There's things that you do that you don't realize that you're doing them, and it's instinctive. Like a lot of people are like, oh, well, how do you meditate? No, Darlene can't sit there with her hands still and her eyes closed and the brain goes nowhere. I do dishes. I'm telling my husband that, but when I do dishes, it's like a form of meditation for me, because all I'm doing is focus. The water's running and focusing on clearing what I'm clearing. And it's not just, there'll be times when I'll be doing that, and you don't even think about it sometimes when you're doing a dish, how to scrub the fork and how to clean the plate and wash the glass. It's automatic. So your mind is free for other stuff to come in. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, my hands are wet. I gotta get audio tape and write down what I saw and what I thought. But it's things like people think that they're so. We as humans make things much more complicated than is necessary.
Wow. Yeah. That's an
brains.
understatement.
You overthink everything, and this what happens is that you disconnect from your own spirit and from spirit world, and you become like.
Yep, exactly. And Lisa has. I'm so happy to know that even if my dad reincarnated, his spirit will still visit. Yes. I really thought he couldn't anymore because I felt he reincarnated. Thank you for that.
We have past lives, and we can go back and visit them and come back.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have this amazing friend, Raven, who does past life readings.
And if anybody ever says that they know everything, they're lying.
Of course,
because you can
cross the street if they tell you that.
Yeah, run. Don't walk, run.
Run for it.
Yeah. But I mean, you'll learn something new all the time, and depending on who you talk to and how much you're researching,
Your development, you always learn. I want to be teachable all the time, because if I'm not teachable, then nobody arrives. Whoever thinks they arrive has never left.
Yeah.
And the more things you face, the more things. If what I run away from runs after me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The vengeance sometimes.
Yes, spiritually, physically, mentally, my childhood, whatever, traumas affect the way you connect with spirit. And this is why it's important that spiritualists clean their own inner house. And I'm not just talking scribbling on paper. I'm talking about if you need therapy because you had trauma as a child, if you don't go for that, you're going to inject your own world and your own nervousness into what you're doing.
Yeah. What time is it? Oh, we have 10 minutes left. Lisa's saying John is tired. Are you tired?
Oh, I'm not tired. Oh, no. Lisa, I can make bread when I do circles in in the Carolinas, and we have a sacred fire outside in Reverend Chris Nygren from Unity Church. And I'll give messages the whole night, and I go up to midnight sometimes. And if anything, it infuses me with spirit, so much with energy. The reverends I work with, they're in their 80s. They come over, they're over to my house in the morning, and they're like 84. You know, like it's actually supposed to infuse you with a lot. If you're feeling tired, it's because you're connecting to things you shouldn't be.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, I've done that. I've had that happen. I have had that happen. Like, wait a minute. Did I ground? Did I shield? Do I have to do more? If something drains me, or pulling,
you question.
And I get angry. I physically get angry when people go in there and say, "Use my energy to do this." I'm like, never, ever, ever do you say that to a spirit. You don't say, "Use my energy." You don't say, throw something at someone or hit someone or do anything like that. Don't. You know why? You'll get what you ask for.
When
right?
someone's in the hospital and they're dying or they're not well, if you stand on their feet, the body automatically will get your energy to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when you're visiting someone in the hospital, never stand at their feet, and you feel so tired after, because that body is trying to survive and it's grabbing energy from you, and you have no idea.
Mm.
So when you visit someone, be at their bedside, not at their feet, because you're going to feel super tired and drained.
That is good to know. But that's what my grandfather was saying. They grab on my feet. They grab on my feet. They grab on my feet.
Trying to snag him back.
They do this. They grab on my feet. He did all the,
So at the broom closet in Graham, North Carolina, the owner, Lisa, I love her very much. And we had a little seance, and she closed the shop. And she's like, "There's the old man here." I said, "Yeah, Mr. So-and-so." And all of a sudden, her body went back. Vroom, and we were all holding hands, and her body was shooken back by the spirit. And I said, "Okay, leave her alone." And we heard all the rumbling. And you see, she's had peace since then.
Mm.
Yeah.
Same thing for in Joliet. I was working at a store, Diane, and she had a spirit that was bugging her, and I went, who are you? What do you want? Boom, boom, boom. And it left.
Wow.
These things happen when we take authority of the area. We have to be very firm about these things.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because again, it's an intention thing, and it's if you go in there with the mindset that you already say, all right, I'm going in there and I know I have to get rid of the spirit. The spirit already knows I'm coming to get rid of the spirit.
Yes.
And I'm not wavering, not one little bit, it's happening, like when I got rid of the thing and sealed up the house that was bothering that 10-year-old kid. I'm like, I'm not even giving you a chance. I'm not even going home and listening to these recordings. I'm not doing anything. You're out. You're attacking a child. You're out. It's end.
That's a line. Don't cross that line.
I did that in the Carolinas, 20 acres of land, and the gentleman who owned the farm, his Tesla, the mirror cracked, and he burned down a whole gazebo because they used to hang people there. And I saw them. And when he did that, he saw faces in the smoke. And I didn't go home thinking, "Oh my God, I'm going to drive to Wilmington now and I'm going to have be haunted." No, I'm going on my way. I'm done.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a sign of divination. Smoke. If you put your intention into the smoke, and then you take pictures, you should see what your intention are. Chris will post those pictures all the time. But smoke scrying. It's fun. It's a neat thing to do, and like at an event and stuff too, because a lot of people see different things, but they're asking for different things, which is really cool. Now, Lisa says, "Do you think spiritual people need more alone time? I really like being in my peace because people interrupt my thoughts. When that happens, I feel anxious." Yeah.
Well, people don't interrupt us. We allow them.
True.
And
Take the phone off the hook.
When we allow them, we're giving our power away. But it's important to have that peace and that meditation period. But it's also important to be part of community, not to shelter. I say this a lot because some mediums will shelter and become, I can't go to the hospital. I can't. We're in life. We have to live life. This gift is not meant for me to be sheltered at home. But I do need that quiet space. It's very important.
Oh, yeah. And that's why when I do readings for people, and I always I always say one of the things when you leave here, you're going to do what you want to do, no matter what I said, no matter what the card said. But one thing I always kind of sort of insist on is find yourself your spot. It doesn't have to be much. It can be a chair in the corner of a room and it's just yours. You don't, nobody else sits in it. It's like I have a chair that was it was part of a set that my parents got when they first got married. I have one and my sister has one. And it's the only other person who sits in it is my cat. And it's like nobody else does. It's specifically when I need to just sort of focus on just me,
But
turn
that's
off
when
all this shit, the lights are out, and then I'm done.
that's when you build a vortex. So
Yeah.
if you meditate in the same place and if you give intention there, then you're building a vortex for that area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you can
Yeah.
also create calling hours. You can say, like, here, I do that here, because a lot of times these spirits all want to communicate, all want to do this, all want to do this. It's like, no, I'm working here now. I'm not talking to you.
Oh, I have calling out. I have blocks. No, you're not
So,
coming unless
yeah.
you're.
Yeah. It's like, I'll talk to you tonight at 7:00. All right. So everybody meet me in the dining room at 7:00. I'll go down there with the recorder. I'll go down there with the spirit box. I'll do whatever you want to do at 7:00. But in the meantime, leave me alone.
I got taxes to do, damn it.
Or if you don't want them bothering you when you're sleeping, leave me alone. If you want them to come through when you're sleeping because your mind is too crazy during the day to hear them, say, come talk to me at night when you're not crazy, but just make sure you have a notepad and stuff so you can write down your message once you get it at night, because you'll forget it by the morning.
I had a young friend who, when she connected to spirit, she had a necklace. When she wore that necklace, it was the sign to spirit that she was open for communication. And when she just wanted her time, the necklace wasn't on. So she discovered that one when she took the necklace off one time and she went to take a shower and it was peaceful. And the next time when she took a shower, she forgot to take the necklace off and it got rowdy in there. And she's like, no. So she went with it. Yeah. And she went with it. That was her thing with spirit. That was the way they knew when she was open for communication. And it was the first time I'd ever heard that. And I thought, oh my God, that is awesome.
Well, I created a masterclass in the US called Healing the Healer, because a lot of mediums out there have no idea how to connect. And by working with all these people that are seniors in the churches all over the world, I've picked up a lot of tricks from them and a lot of ways to do things, and my own spirit team. And one of my favorite mediums is John Edwards. I mean, I think this is a very ethical medium.
That's my ex-partner's uncle, Chris.
Yeah, very, very good, nice man, and the way he teaches, the way he talks about spirit and how he adores spirit and how he honors it. Like, he doesn't see anyone before he gives messages, no matter what city he goes. But I think I'm getting a question here about how do you communicate with people. I mean, I'll be teaching this on my website, and if something you'd like me to do, please email me on my website. And so I know, because I know there's a lot of people that are excited and want to know, how do I do this? How do I do that? Find the local spiritualist church, go there. They have classes all around North America and Europe. And you will find that these places, when you come together and you sit in a circle, that power of sitting in the power, as we call it, that spirit will choose you if you're meant to do this work. Yeah. Or even if you're just meant to awaken, it will choose you and enlighten you and feel lighter, and people come together. There's a power there. I have a circle tomorrow night and I'm excited. It's not doesn't matter, but it's the fact that it's in my hometown. I never work in my hometown. I work everywhere else but here. And that in the West Island, and that building of the energy is so strong because people go with intention to connect with their loved ones and with spirit. And spirit knows before you know. Yeah. It fascinates me every time.
I know, right? This is why I've been doing it for so long. It's just
my last breath.
Nothing becomes repeat functional. It's every time, everything always new. There's always something new, so you're always open to it.
And well, what you're wait a minute, 1 second. This one here, right? When you absorb them, all of them, and so draining. Well, we already talked about that. That's grounding and shielding. Right? Don't let that happen. That's the same with an empath. Again, boundaries
exactly.
too. But grounding and shielding, and don't let them come near you. Protect your body. Yeah, and boundaries are huge.
It's like setting your boundaries for a human. You set your boundaries with spirit. You don't let any Tom, Dick, or Harry grab your butt. So spirits the same way. You don't let any.
You got to tell the spirits too sometimes not to grab your butt.
Exactly.
There's spirits, there's claims in certain areas, like the women in the bordellos grabbing the men. Some of the men like that, but some of the men don't. And it's like you got to set your boundaries there too. Same here. Put up a do not disturb sign at night before you go to sleep, Carol. That's fabulous, but again, like the nighttime, that is when your mind is shut off. So a lot of spirits will, if they can't get in touch with you during the day, they're going to try at night, because right before REM sleep, you are wide open, right?
Yeah.
And your body will, and I've said this before and I'm going to say it again, your body as a preservative method, it paralyzes yourself. Okay. So right at REM, you are paralyzed, so you don't hurt yourself. Okay. This is self-preservation. And if you get startled out of that sleep by a spirit, people say, I'm being held down. No, you're not. Your body's doing that. Okay. You're not being held down. Trust me. You're not. If you feel that you are, you can still move your tongue, make the sign of the cross on the roof of your mouth, wish it away with your mind. Okay, whatever. But you're not. It's your body. Your body will come back. You will regain your mobility in a minute. Okay. It may seem longer, but it's just going to be like this. Okay.
Yeah.
But that is when the spirits can communicate with you, because again, your mind isn't going, I got to take Johnny to soccer and I got to go grocery shopping. I got to pay this bill. Oh my God, the government's taking my job. All day long, we're bombarded by all this crap.
Yeah. So lay down.
So, I try to make light of it, but it is a serious matter.
Yeah.
But we are like at 10.
And it's 10 o'clock p.m. Okay. So thank you for a great show so much, and better on TV or social media.
Thank you so much. Share it. Share the show. Yeah.
And if you have any ideas for shows, shoot us messages if there's anything that sounds interesting, or somebody who might be a good fit for this crazy duo here.
Yeah.
Just let us know.
Thank you so much for having me on.
It's a blast.
You're family.
Did I not warn you about that before?
No.
Forgot. When you come on the show, you are part of the Dan. You are now part of the family. You have no choice.
Yep. And this one, wait a minute, I gotta find your picture again here. All right, so the ticker that's going across down there, this is the actual event here. Okay, Friday, March 28th, 7:30 to 9:30 Eastern Standard. Spirit Message Circle with our Jon, and you are now our Jon. This is a Zoom event, $44 a person. Contact the Broom Closet Metaphysical Shop at 336-792-6466. If you're watching, there's a QR code that you can put in to get your passes. Seating is limited, so if you were going to do that, I would do that ASAP.
Because it's going in March, and I think it's 35 or 40 people max, because everybody gets a message when it comes to these things. It's not like, one person gets a message. Everybody gets a message.
So trust me, if everyone's getting a message, $44 is cheap.
Yeah.
$44 is on the cheap.
Very, very, very. And you've already witnessed tonight how good he is. And we love you. But you got to get going on that book, right? Because as soon as the book is done.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, as soon as that's done, you're back on here. We might have you back on here before that, if it's okay with you.
Absolutely. It'd be my
And
honor.
our books will be signed specially.
Of
Dear
course.
Mama D, the sexiest repetitive.
I pack you, Mama D, and bring you out for breakfast or something.
There you go. Okay. Well, like I said, this summer I'm coming down to see my daughter, spend some time with her, and when I'm there, I'll be like, excuse me, you'll have to give me your actual phone number. I'll be like,
yeah, sure. And Gina, when I go to Allentown, it's only an hour.
Okay.
Because that's my go-to. Carolina.
Yeah.
I sleep in Allentown, and then I drive to Carolina. It's from Allentown.
Wow. Yay. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, hang with us just for a minute. I'm going to say goodnight to all of you. Buonasera. Okay.
Buonasera.
All right. Ciao, everybody. And we will see you next week. And do I have the right exit? I do. Okay. Ciao for now. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D. We are here every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you a variety of guests or our own intuitive oracle card reading shows. We are streaming live on Facebook on my personal page and our YouTube channel, The Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D, on Mama D's YouTube channel, Angel Meadows, as well as our audio-only venues. We hope you enjoyed our show and our guest or your reading, and we would love it if you would go to our YouTube channel, The Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D, subscribe, share, and definitely hit that notification button to never miss a show. We'll see you all next week, and subscribers, watch for our pop-up shows as well.